All right, let's dive right into this. Today we're looking at a massive, looming economic question, the AI layoff trap. The core theory here is actually pretty straightforward. If AI displaces human workers faster than they can get new jobs, it destroys the very consumer demand that businesses rely on to survive. I mean, basically, no paychecks equals no customers, right? But a lot of critics argue that this theory completely ignores the self-correcting magic of the free market. So today, we are putting that to the test. In this explainer, we're going to run the AI layoff trap through the ultimate economic stress test. We'll examine 5 real-world complications straight from the source material to see if traditional market forces will actually save us or, well, just push us over the edge even faster.
Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, the productivity paradox. 2, why free entry fails. 3, the wage collapse caveat. 4, the billionaire spending myth. And finally, number 5, why market power won't save us. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, the productivity paradox.
Now, it's a super common and honestly completely fair question. What if AI just makes us highly productive? You might be thinking that a highly capable AI, one that generates way more output than a human ever could, would just fix the layoff trap by growing the total economic pie so much that everyone benefits. Like, does a massive productivity boost pull us out of the trap?
Well, you'd probably expect that higher productivity expands the economy and resolves the whole demand problem. But the economic reality? It actually widens the over-automation wedge. Better AI doesn't fix the trap at all. It actually amplifies the excess automation rather than mitigating the damage to consumer demand.
To understand why this happens, the researchers use a brilliant concept from biology called the Red Queen effect. It's an evolutionary idea where organisms literally have to keep evolving and running just to survive and stay in the exact same place. In economics, it works like this. Because AI boosts output, every firm tries to steal market share by automating more. But here's the catch. All their competitors do the exact same thing. So the output gains just cancel out across the market, and firms end up destroying their shared consumer demand even faster. They're basically running full speed just to pull the floor out from under themselves.
Section 2, free entry fails.
Okay, so what if free markets and new startups swoop in and fix the scale? Standard economic theory tells us that if automation destroys surplus and profits start to vanish, some firms will naturally just exit the market, or scrappy new startups will disrupt the space, right? The idea is that this leaves the industry at an efficient, perfectly balanced scale. But does that actually happen here?
The source research models 3 different outcomes for free entry, and honestly, none of them lead to salvation. If entry costs are low, we hit a pure prisoner's dilemma. Everyone floods the market, everyone automates, and demand completely tanks. If entry costs are really high, well, the market never reaches the scale to trigger the trap anyway. But the intermediate cost regime, that one is fascinating. In that scenario, the mere threat that incumbents will automate scares off new startups. So no one enters, incumbents keep all their power, and the trap acts as this invisible barrier to entry.
And this perfectly illustrates a deeply counterintuitive reality. If you do manage to get more startups and more competition, it actually weakens the private incentive for any single firm to hold back on automation. Think about it. If there are 100 firms instead of 10, your specific company only feels 1% of the lost consumer demand when you fire a worker. Fragmenting the market just dilutes the pain for each individual firm, which incentivizes them to automate even more aggressively. More competition actually accelerates the race to the bottom.
Section 3, the wage collapse caveat.
You have almost certainly heard this argument. Won't falling wages naturally slow down automation? The logic goes that as AI displaces workers, the labor pool grows, and unemployed workers will just have to accept lower wages to get a job. This makes human labor cheaper and, theoretically, a lot less appealing to replace with an expensive AI system.
But let's actually compare that expectation with a mathematical feedback loop. Yes, lower wages do narrow the cost savings of AI. However, falling wages just raise the threshold for the trap. It takes slightly longer to fall into it, sure, but it doesn't fundamentally eliminate the wedge. It only fixes the problem by deeply, deeply impoverishing the workforce. To put it as plainly as possible, the only way flexible wages actually fix the over-automation problem is by driving human pay down to the exact cost of running an AI. We're talking near subsistence levels here. So the labor market does technically self-correct, but it only does so by transmuting a mass unemployment crisis into a mass poverty crisis. The consumer base is still totally destroyed. It's just done through wage depression instead of outright layoffs.
Section 4, the billionaire spending myth.
A very common pushback to the trap is this. what if the rich owners just spend their massive new profits? Like, if AI lays off workers but dramatically increases the capital income of the firm owners, couldn't those owners just spend that new wealth right back into the economy? Wouldn't that magically offset the mass market spending lost by the displaced workers? Once again, expectation meets reality. The expectation here assumes that a dollar earned is a dollar spent, regardless of who holds it in their bank account. But the reality highlighted in the source material is a massive structural asymmetry. The match just simply doesn't work, because capital owners spend a much lower fraction of their income in these mass market sectors than everyday workers do. Billionaires might buy luxury yachts, sure, but they don't buy 10,000 times more toothpaste or 10,000 streaming subscriptions. Their spending patterns absolutely do not match the mass market consumption required to keep these specific automated firms afloat.
And when you look at the raw math, the numbers are staggering. For capital recycling to actually close the demand gap, owners would have to spend over 100% of their cost savings just to replace the demand lost from laid-off workers. Since literally no rational business owner spends more than they save, this mathematical fix is completely off the table. Capital recycling simply cannot save the demand base.
Section 5. Market power won't save.
We have this really deep-seated assumption in modern economics that fierce competition is always the ultimate protector of economic stability and consumer welfare. It's practically gospel. But does competition actually protect us from the AI layoff trap? Here is a bizarre twist in the data. A pure monopoly is actually the only market structure that fully internalizes the demand loss. Because they own the entire pie, when they lay off workers, they feel absolutely 100% of the lost consumer demand. They see the cliff approaching, and they hit the brakes. But under fragmented, imperfect competition, the pain is diluted. A single firm captures all the payroll savings from using AI, but only feels a tiny fraction of the macroeconomic demand destruction. And so, the race to the bottom just continues unchecked. Bringing it all together, we can walk through this definitive scorecard from the source analysis. We tested AI productivity, and it actually amplifies the distortion. Free entry, the trap persists and market fragmentation makes it worse. Wage adjustments, it only mathematically balances out by impoverishing the workers. Capital recycling, the spending math completely fails. And market competition, it actively keeps the trap alive. Across the board, none of our traditional free market economic fixes eliminate the externality. Zero. This leads to a really powerful sentiment from the source material regarding these supposed market corrections. The authors note, the demand problem has not been solved. It has merely been hidden. Whether it's hidden behind subsistence-level wages or theoretical entry barriers, the fundamental truth remains the same. The free market, as we currently structure it, is structurally incapable of self-correcting this specific, systemic crisis of demand destruction. Which leaves us with one final, undeniable question. If rational, perfectly foreseeing, highly competitive markets cannot hit the brakes on AI demand destruction on their own, what will it take to stop the machine? The evidence strongly points to the necessity of outside intervention. We'll be exploring exactly what those policy solutions might look like in a future explainer. Thank you so much for joining me today, and keep questioning those assumptions.